Duel of the prizings. So very excited. Our special guests, of course, PJ Stahl and Marshall Parker. So very honored and excited to be able to host that, and I'm going to speak for them. They are honored and excited that you all came out to test them. So thank you so much for coming. Many of you, this is your first cutting event, so I'm excited for your interaction with this. As of right now, where all of the sharps are registered is off limits. Okay, I get to go in there because I'm me, but otherwise that is not a pass through. All the sharps are completely sequestered. Those of you who have been here before know I make this threat every year. If I see you screwing around with a sharp sword, you're done. I don't ever want to see your face again. Is that understood? Keep that up. I love you all. I want this to be a safe, fun experience, most importantly an educational experience. And not an education of how do we go to the hospital, how do we explain to the law enforcement that a sharp weapon did some serious damage. Okay? So there's a zero tolerance policy on the sharp swords. The checkout for actually cutting is on the back side of the facility, so that means we have to walk all the way around. This room, there are no shoes allowed in here. You can do slow play or light steel work in this room, okay, but for when it comes time, or drilling can happen in this room as well. When it comes time for free play and where our prizing is going to be, it's going to be on the other side. You can wear gym only shoes over there. So yes, there's going to end up being a lot of shoes on, shoes off type thing. You just got to deal with it. That's all in the other side on the rubber coated room. Because we're all going to end up in rubber rooms eventually. So that happens over there. Blunts can go around wherever, that's fine. If you guys decide you want to go out and fight in the grass or whatever, you can do that, feel free. Blunts are not a problem. I like to see all of that going on. First and foremost, this is an educational opportunity. This event should change the way that you fight in your free play, or at least inform it to a certain degree. My big thing is understanding the tools that we use. And if you come in and only ever pick up a blunt, only ever pick up a fader, you're limiting your knowledge of the weapon. And that's what this is about. I liken what you're about to go through is similar to standing at a target range with a firearm and simply pointing it and just cycling ammo through without ever pulling the trigger. Can you aim? Sure. Can you hold are you strong enough to hold it? Yes, you are. But until you pull that trigger, you don't get any idea of what that weapon can do. And that's what we're going to do today. To that end, what you have done so far should also inform the actions that you take with your swords. What does that mean? That means how many times have you fought PJ and done this? Right? If you've ever fought PJ, that is an unrealistic. Please do that. Unrealistic. Okay? So I would like to see some application of frequens modus. For my language scholars here. All right, you all are in trouble for not knowing frequens modus. Constant motion. So when we come into our engage, we come into creed, we come into Zufectin, we're taking guards, we're taking motions, primary intention, secondary intention. These are things that should be a part of your test cutting so that you understand your range. There is a modification this year to the pig, wherein usually we have him hanging from the gibbet and so his point of contact with the earth is on his neck. We've changed that this year, so I have a short pell that's going up through the middle. We need to be kind of aware of that when you take your cuts, that you're not cutting into the pell. It's a cedar pell, so it's a lot softer, so you're likely not going to destroy anything. But be mindful that we're not looking for giant pews to try and cut the pig in half. Spoiler alert, it's not that hard. All right? So, frequens modus, understand your range, be deliberate in the type of cuts that you get. We will randomize the order in which people go, so somebody's got to be first. That's how it is. Be mindful of the cuts. We're going to get 3 cuts each time you come up to the pig. Usually we can get through that cycle at least twice, so you can explore something. There are other cutting stations, particularly right next to the pig. There is a plasticine non-hardening clay station that almost always gets ignored. Friends, don't ignore that station. You can check out a sharp sword if you want and use the sharp on the plasticine clay to study the cuts that you might want to take. You can use your blunts on the clay as well, so that you can just play around with that as well. So those 2 stations, I would really like to see people kind of migrate from the clay to the pig. That would be ideal, but you might need to clean it in between.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
can I sell that clay station a little here?
Yes.
So, for the clay, if you've never cut on clay before, your edge, when it hits the clay, if it's a very clean cut, you'll just see the groove by the edge. However, if you tear, if you scallop, you'll see the actual tear in the clay, and that is very informative. So use that understanding as, I guess, the impetus to want to cut on clay, because there is quite a lot of feedback that clay can give you. It's harder to see that on the pig.
Correct.
Plus, you're just so amazed that you just killed a pig, so there's that in the way. But the clay you can study a little further. So.
Thank you. So yes, going up and studying your cuts after you make them, 100%, I want to see you do that. So that you understand what did the sword slide at all? Again, it's a saber, it's going to slide a lot, okay? So please go up and study your cuts afterwards. Use this as an educational opportunity. There are also just the stupid fun stations. So we have water bottles over there. You can learn about that much from cutting water bottles, but it's a lot of fun. We do have a tatami stand and station. There has been a tatami shortage for some time, and we were victimized by that this year. So I'm going to ask, if you've cut on tatami before, that you allow somebody who hasn't. We have 10 rolls of tatami, but we also have rolls of bamboo that are staves that have been soaked, so you'll be able to cut them. We tested that out. It's a whole new field. Whole new field. And also we have corrugated cardboard that is rolled up. Again, a really different field. Frankly, it might piss you off just a little bit, so be prepared for that.
You have a whole lot corrugated, so don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid to, that's the one that you can cut wildly on. The bamboo, you'll get many different cuts, so kind of excited to see that. There's a traffic pattern to when you come around. You'll come check out your sword and walk close to the building. Sharp swords close to the building until you enter your cutting zone. All right? No swords or returning swords. You're going to be just one person out from the building. The tatami station is right on the corner, so you'll walk along the building underneath the tent and then enter the grassy area. For cutting the bottles, you will walk along underneath the tent, pick up a bottle, walk around on the blacktop till past the electrical box, then enter the grass, and you will be able to cut from that area. I will have some of my people stationed around who are kind of the safety people, so if they say stop or hold on, please just stop or hold on. there's plenty of cutting for everybody to do. Cutting, free play, there will be time for that as well before the prize play at 2.
When walking with a sharp sword, hold the point down.
Point always down. Yes, point down. Thank you. Unless you're walking at PJ, then point straight forward. All right, so we'll have our single stick tourney after lunch. Everybody's got something sitting in there. It's a single elimination tournament. Our free scholar Joe Clark is going to do a little primer for those of you who haven't done a lot of single stick before. If you're getting all worked up and like, oh, you're at the wrong place. It's purely fun. So if you've never done single stick before, this is how you jump in, okay? It's all the fun. So we'll have that, and then that'll bleed right into our prizing. There are prizes for the single stick though. I think we got first and second again this year. Is that the case? But you'll notice that I'm standing right in front of this thing that says dance card. And I'm holding these 3x5 go cards. There are 10 things that you need to fulfill in order to be entered into a random drawing for a door prize for your dance card. Door prize happens to be a custom, semi-custom knife. You get to pick. I've got 4 or 5 in a box, and you get to pick whichever knife you want.
Cool.
Okay. For filling your dance card. So obviously the reason we're here, cutting the pig, cutting the tatami or the bamboo, because we might run out of tatami, not everybody get a chance. Make some cut on models, cut the cardboard, so do all the cutting. Okay? I should have put the clay on there, but I didn't. Participate in the single stick tourney. So if you say, I don't want to do single stick because I don't know, you're automatically out of the running for the door prize. So do the single stick tourney. Participate in prizing, so that's kind of the easy one. 7 bouts. Signed, just an initial of people who are not from your club. So you might have to do bouts with somebody multiple times. Oh, shucks.
Is that on the back of the card?
Yes. Collect signatures. They're 3x5. You figure it out. Okay, but put the number, like number 1, check, whatever. Number 8, special design. These are just blank note cards, and let's face it, we're all kind of book nerds. So do some kind of picture, little doodling on there. You got plenty of time today. Number 9, what's the name for the pig?
Bill Howard.
Don't just shout it out. Put it on your.
Sorry,
Put it on your card. Put it on your card. Number 9. And then of course it's a door prize. Put your name on it. Your name, okay?
Don't put your name, it's my name on it.
Right.
So,
No name, automatically out.
just gives more chances for me to win.
So these will be stationed over by where the waivers are filled out. Everybody who's participating has filled out a brand new waiver, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Don't steal my pens. There are only 12 of them, and there are more than 12 of you here.
So, on a bout of bad news, Master Aaron Penneberg was supposed to join us this year, ended up having a bit of an emergency, so he's not going to be joining us today. But thankfully, we were able to have Master Eric White, who's able to fill in right away. So, we're running a little bit behind, because it's a HEMA event. What we're going to do is we're also giving ourselves a little bit of time for the personal trainer to make his way out. We're going to start off with a little bit of warm-up with a class with Master White, talking about some use of the longsword that should flow into how we're going to use our previous studies in informing our cutting. I have just talked for a very long time about a lot of things.
If you have not registered, meaning you don't have one of these beautiful red bands around your wrist, come see us at registration, because I need to check you in. Otherwise, you're not allowed to get food. Because it's the paid registered.
Oh,
Just eat raw pork.
That's fair.
pig sushi.
Alright, so
So make sure you, if you haven't registered, please stop in at the table. Rob.
We honor the pig by not butchering it, passing it around, and eating it. We don't eat the pigs. If you have an ice fest, we will have ice later, we will have pig divided up into plastic bags. Please take some.
Yeah.
I haven't finished what I had last
It is, I will make that note. Part of some of the circumloquacious talk that we had about our event is we have been kind of attacked by some organizations in the past. It's a humanely raised, butchered pig. We do the best we can to honor and use it. That's, again, the stress of the
Is it
education.
pastured? Does it have a life on
I believe so. I believe so.
Is it kosher?
There's 3 med kits that I know of outside in case of terrible accident or sharp things. There's one on the roll of cardboard, there's one that will be next to the building on the vials and stuff. And Alex has hers on her person.
There's one at the shark stand too.
Great.